Boko Haram boys tried and proven innocent before their release. Otapo Dixon is my name. Well, many thanks to everybody who did write in a message this morning. Many of them have made a good attempt to read them, even though it looks like I still have quite some more. Let's see how I'm able to cope with that as things do go. It's 8 o'clock now, and Bevan is standing by to bring you these updates. Stay with me.
It's 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. The latest updates, current and breaking issues. This is the News Update.
And to the news update, the Islamic movement in Nigeria has called for a fish out of the officer of the Nigeria Police Force who shot at journalist Alex Ogbu last month, leading to his death. The movement also wants the officer to face the consequences of his action and money paid to the family of the slain journalist. These demands were contained in a statement by a member of the Academic Forum of IMN, Abdullahi Musa, in Abuja on Monday. He stated that a copy of the medical certificate obtained from the National Hospital Abuja, which is the autopsy of the late journalist, revealed that the passerby, as claimed by the police, died of brain evisceration due to a penetrating missile injury. That is gunshot wound he sustained by means of high-velocity bullets being fired at him by the police. He, however, stressed further that such avoidable slaughters of fellow citizens is unacceptable on all grounds. President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, said his administration is committed to securing the freedom of all children and other victims of abduction by terrorists in the country. This was disclosed in a statement by the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina. The program was co-sponsored by the government of Nigeria, Uganda, and Norway, the Africa Union Commission, and Save the Children. President Buhari at the event said a number of schoolgirls from Chibok and Dapchi were earlier abducted by Boko Haram have regained their freedom. The president urged African countries and stakeholders on the continent to work fervently towards strengthening the protection of children from the 6 grave violations during armed conflict. Meanwhile, leaders of the Economic Community of West African States have finally set up a committee to look into Nigeria's land border closure with other neighboring countries. The resolution was confirmed in a statement issued on Monday by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Herbash Shehu, in Abuja. According to the statement, the committee is headed by President Mark Christian Kabore of Burkina Faso. The presidential aide explained that the decision was agreed on Sunday in Addis Ababa at an extraordinary session of ECOWAS leaders convened on the margins of the 33rd AU Summit to discuss the issue and other pressing regional matters. And lastly, a crisis within the world's greatest humanitarian emergency could be reaching breaking points over the control of life-saving aid billions of Yemenis need to survive. Major donors and some of the world's biggest aid agencies will meet in Brussels on Thursday in an effort to forge a collective response to what is being widely described as unprecedented and unacceptable obstruction by Houthi authorities who hold sway over large swaths of northern Yemen. The lives of millions of Yemenis depend on it. A recent Yemen briefing to the UN Security Council underlined that access constraints were affecting 6.7 million Yemenis who needed assistance, a figure which it noted has never been so high. UN's resident humanitarian Les Grant says humanitarian agencies must operate in an environment where they can uphold humanitarian principles. That's the news update on 95.1 Nigeria Info. Don't forget, you can always send us eyewitness report as news breaks in your area. Send your reports to eyewitness@kowazabinfo.com. My name is Bevan Magoni. Good morning. Thank you for listening.
Online.
On air.
What are you saying? Can't you see the state of the nation?
All the time.
All the time. Stay connected with the latest information
On 95.1 Nigeria Info.
Breakfast your day, every day, with the nourishment of malt, milk, and cocoa, and the delicious taste of Milo.
Nestle, good food, good life.
They are the ones making things happen. They love their country, but also love every opportunity to explore. They travel as often as they can, whether for business or learning or pleasure. They are fly. They are Nigerians, and now they fly Nigerian with Airpeace. From Lagos to UAE, every Friday, Sunday, and Tuesday, in the best comfort, enjoying the kind of food and in-flight entertainment only Nigerians can truly understand. Flygerians choose peace above all. Fly international destinations with Airpeace and enjoy the Flygerian experience firsthand. For more information on our international flights, visit www.flyairpeace.com. Airpeace, your peace, our goal.
HV Digital Press presents 14 Days of Love with special offers of 14% discount on all services as a way to show love this Valentine. Yeah, you heard me right. 14% discount. This special and irresistible offer will run from the 1st of February to the 14th of February 2020. HV Digital Press is located at plot 1138A, 6th Avenue, off 7th Avenue, Gwarimpa Estate. For more inquiries, visit www.hvdigitalprice.com. or call 090-80000901. You can't afford to miss this amazing offer of 14 days of love. Brought to you by HV Digital Press.
Enjoy the gift of love this Valentine's season with Samsung. Buy the Galaxy Note 10, Note 10 Plus, S10e, S10 or S10 Plus from any participating store nationwide and get a free screen repair voucher and a gift pack. Promo runs from 22nd January to 16th February 2020. Visit www.samsung.com for more details. Also, for every Galaxy A30s you buy, you get a gift pack. Terms and conditions apply. Offer valid while stock lasts.
You don't wait for life. You go to meet life. It's not about how many chances you get. It's what you do with what you've got. Morning after morning, cup after cup. Start strong, finish strong. With the stimulating aroma and rich, creamy taste of Nescafe 3-in-1. It all starts with Nescafe.
Broadcasting all day, every day, from the heart and capital city of Nigeria. This is Nigeria Info, 95.1 FM.
As we have it.
We talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. Talk with us on the talk station of the nation. 95.1 Nigeria Info. We talk.
And now, Morning Crossfire. With SWAT and Femi D live on 95.1 Nigeria Info.
Many thanks for staying with me right here on Nigeria Info 95.1 to keep things going. Let's talk about INEC deregistration exercise, where quite a number of parties, 74 of them, did not meet the credible directory of INEC. And yes, after doing some evaluation, INEC described them as not being able to keep things right and have therefore deregistered them in line with some of the laws that best guide the establishment of political parties in Nigeria. This morning I'm joined now at this time from INEC, Director of Voter Education, Dr. Oluwole Uzzi. Good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good to have you on the show.
It's a pleasure, thank you.
Yes, so let's start off with the process in itself, and this is going to be some quick question. How long did it take INEC to classify and also discover to say, having gone through the process, these are the 74 political parties that are not good enough to represent the interests of Nigerians?
Well, so we did verification of the status of political parties in December of last year, in 2019. So we wrote to the parties saying, when it comes to the verification, do the attention to section 225A, which is part of the fourth alteration of the Constitution. But prior to this December verification, we had a series of meetings. Usually we have quarterly meetings with the parties, and there we discussed some of these issues. And so when we did the verification, some cooperated, some did not cooperate as much as we wanted them to. And we cut some portion of the Constitution, which empowers us to register for equality even with the threshold proceeded. Now, part of the grounds for the registration is said that the stadiums will win a certain threshold of votes. So we have to wait for the 2019 elections to be over, even challenges in court to be over. So by the time the challenges were over and there's some controversy in the elections, which we did on January the 26th, we now went back and looked at it and found out who did and who did not meet the threshold. So basically, that's the process of the number for a while.
Okay, does INEC have to consult with stakeholders, for example, the Inter-Party Advisory Council, when they are planning on undertaking such an exercise? Do you have to consult with stakeholders, or it's something that is strictly by the laws that allow the establishment of such of parties or deregistration of parties?
Yeah, imagine that. Let me say that INEC is a management and a regulation body. In its position as a regulation body, it does not have to, or the law does not require to consult with anybody, but to undertake its regulatory functions. But we did inform the political parties. We discussed all these issues prior to taking a decision. Then together, the alteration, the fourth alteration of Section 225A, which will came into being in 2018.
Okay, and then also putting forward another area of inquiry would be the issue of, now that we know that these political parties have been deregistered, Edo and Ondo elections come up. I do understand in Enugu State, for example, there was supposed to be some local elections. Somebody was running on the party, and they has therefore taken INEC to court, saying, well, I registered on this for the platform of this party. We were accepted on this party. How does this change, for example, the Edo and Ondo 2020 elections and people who were running on these platforms who before now were confident that they were candidates to be reckoned with?
You don't become a candidate until you are sponsored by registered political parties. And only registered political parties can sponsor candidates. Section 221 of the Constitution is very clear, and that has been a difference since 1999. So it does not affect the do or undo elections. Only registered political parties can sponsor candidates, candidates of votes, or raise money for any political cause. So it doesn't affect that. But now, 18 political parties. One of them is hanging in balance because the party has a case in court. If they lose the case, then they will also go the same way. They will have some case. But if they still through in court, then they will be there as a political party. So for now, Edo and Ondo elections, that's 18 registered political parties. It is unconstitutional for any association, any group of persons to start sponsoring candidates and come up with votes for any candidate. They cease to exist once the programs that they've been registered by the Commission.
Okay, so how will INEC, it's now 18 political parties as we have it in Nigeria. Some say that's quite a number. But then also INEC may be venturing into hoping that the National Assembly reviews the Electoral Act, which will possibly provide better leeway to handle political parties in the country. Do you think with 18 political parties and possibly amendment of the Electoral Act, Nigerians will still see their fundamental representation as we would have it? Because a lot of the political parties are saying, well, this runs against the spirit of the Constitution because of the reason, they can associate and the likes of that. What's INEC's position on this?
Well, I'm not so sure I understand the question honestly, but the only thing I can say to you that issues of registration is not an issue for the Electoral Act. It's a constitutional provision. And you cannot say something has done against the spirit of the Constitution when the Constitution specifically states that, look, a party that does not satisfy the conditions will cease to function as a political party and will be deregulated expressly say so. Unambiguously and provokately say so. And we must give effect to constitutional provisions. Now, let me just throw more light into this. Every legal person has a way of coming into being and a way of dying off. So for a biological person, you are given birth to, you stay, you die, you are buried at the end of it. For a company, you are registered. But there's also provision for liquidation for the credentials of the company, and it will still to exist and it's stopped on register. For any other body set up by law, the same thing. The law usually provides the provision for it to be. Only political parties prior to now existed in perpetuity. Once you are registered, now the end of the matter. Initially, the issue of direction was brought in the Electoral Act. The courts have felt that no, that's a constitutional matter. So it has to be in the Constitution. 3 years ago, the Constitution was amended to now bring it in line with every other legal person. There's a way of coming into being, and there's a way of liquidation of you dying off. And that's the process of the itself. And it's also important that we still have applications for registration of political parties. And we will have to register anyone that meets the threshold. If we don't register them within 30 days, then they're entitled to the court and get an order to register. That's what the election act says. So, yes, if any of them meet the qualification for registration before they do or any other election, they will be registered. But for now, we have to keep for parties.
Okay, so let me round off by asking you this fundamental question. Ondo and Edo elections comes up 2020. We also saw in 2019 Kogi election go by. It went by. It was violent. I don't think there's any other way to say it. It had some violent events over and over again. And some people presumably said INEC was caught up in that violence, and the results and the resultant effect of it was maybe even reflected in the election, the final results that was shared, or should I say approved by INEC. What's going to be different about Edo and Ondo 2020 as INEC prepares for this, having released the timetable for these elections?
Well, first of all, a note of caution. You cannot comment on a case that is in court. And I'm aware that those the elections have been challenged. So you cannot use the platform, you cannot comment. I am not allowed to comment on the correctness or otherwise in court. But yes, violence is the worrisome thing in the electoral process. And don't forget, INEC officials are at the forefront of that violence. They are the front line of that violence. We've lost several officials in some of the elections. That ought not to be. And I'm talking of human beings with names, with families. And it's a very disturbing trend in our electoral process. I think that we are still meeting with security officials and stakeholders to see what we can do to down the tensions and ensure that there isn't so much violence already. Tension is rising and we see stakeholders and the connections this year. It's a worrisome trend, and everybody should be concerned about it. Apart from the violence is antithetical to elections and choosing our representatives. So we are concerned.
I have to say many thanks to you, Dr. Uzzi, Director of Voter Education with the Independent National Electoral Commission, for joining in this morning on the show.
Thank you. It's not just the right way. Mr. Oluwole,
Oluwole. I always end up saying Oluwole. Thank you so much, sir.
I know.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. right, stay with us right here on Nigeria Info. I have two more people that I'll be talking with. Live right here with me is, I almost said Dr. Tope Fasua, but he's also the former presidential candidate on the platform of the Abundant Nigerian Renewal Party. From 2019, he was a presidential candidate. He, before then, continued to practice as a businessman. And yes, he did run on the platform of the ANRP. He's here with me this morning. Good morning to you, Mr. Fasua.
Good morning. Thank you, Femidi.
Thank you so much. We'll get into the conversation in a short while. But just to provide a little bit of background into this conversation, let me share the moment INEC deregistered political parties and also connect with Professor Remi who will be on the line from Lagos as we have this conversation all together this morning. This was the moment INEC declared that Center for Political Parties needs to go.
Determine compliance with the requirements for their registration. Similarly, following the conclusion of the 2019 general election, including court-ordered rerun elections arising from litigations, the Commission was able to determine the performance of political parties in the elections. In addition, they were also assessed on the basis of their performance in the area council elections in the Federal Capital Territory, which coincided with the 2019 general election. It should be noted that FCT is the only part of the country where INEC is empowered by the Constitution to conduct local government elections. Consequently, the Commission has determined that 16 political parties have fulfilled the requirements for existence based on Section 225A of the 1999 Constitution as amended as follows. 1. Accord A. 2. Action Alliance AA. 3. African Action Congress AAC. 4. African Democratic Congress ADC. 5. African Democratic Party ADP. 6. All Progressives Congress APC. 7. All Progressives Grand Alliance APGA. 8. Allied People's Movement APM. 9. Labour Party LP. 10. New Nigeria People's Party NNPP. 11. National Rescue Movement NRM. 12. People's Democratic Party PDP. 13. People's Redemption Party PRP. 14. Social Democratic Party SDP. 15. Young Progressive Party YPP. And 16. Zenith Labour Party.
Well, that was Professor Yakubu Mahmood. We're pretty much listening out. Well, the political parties that will stay on board in Nigeria to have their political party representation go on as we would have it in the country. Leaving out 74 other political parties saying they were not good or they're not good enough to represent the people. Like I earlier said, we joined this morning with a presidential candidate. A presidential candidate is here with us, Tope Fasua. He did run on the platform of the ANRP. He's also an economist by training, a businessman. Good morning to you, Mr. Fasua.
Good morning again.
Why do you think your political party, the ANRP, that's the Abundant Nigeria Renewal Party, was deregistered?
Well, it was deregistered because Nigerians were now steeped in impunity. Most people don't care about justice so long as it doesn't affect them directly. We had steeped in this anyhowness of doing things. We even find a way to misinterpret laws that are very clear and provisions that are very clear. Nobody is asking INEC not to do his work, but if you want to do your work, you do your work properly. Regulation is not a big deal. There are other regulators in this country. And every sector that's regulated, including sectors like the media, that are regulated by the NBC and co. There's dialogue. There's a proper order by which results are achieved, and that's what it is. So. In this instance, INEC did not bother to contact any of the parties. They didn't invite any of us. They treat people like cattle, right? Perhaps they've been over the years used to politicians who come to them and are riffraffs. A lot of those guys that are big men and doing whatever up and down, a lot of them were riffraff, never had a job. Many of them never had businesses and so on. So I think in that same vein, INEC decided to take this because they believe that Nigerians, of course, can't even think through this process. And why is that? Because since 1999 to date, Nigerians have become more illiterate than before. Nigerians have become poorer than before. So what do you expect? So this injustice, they have to carry it through.
All right. Well, Mr. Fasua, thank you for that. Good morning to you, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Very well. Professor Remi Sonaiya joins us via the phone line in Lagos. How is the weather in Lagos today?
No, I'm not in Lagos. I'm actually in Ife.
Oh, you're in Ife at the moment. Wow, wonderful.
Yes, I live in Ife.
Oh, dear. Okay, I missed out on that. But for those who may have missed out on a little bit of Professor Remi Sonaiya's profile, she is Oluremi Comfort Sonaiya. She's a Nigerian politician, educationist, and writer. She's the first Nigerian female presidential candidate that they drawn on the platform of KOWA party in 2015. It's good to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here.
The political landscape is changing really fast. Mr. Tope Fasua is also here with me this morning discussing about this development regarding the deregistration of political parties. Let's reflect a little bit about the registration of all these political parties, how it did start off. I mean, the registration of KOWA party, the platform you did run on, brought a lot of excitement to everybody because I wonder if by any chance all the parties would have given a female candidate a chance to be represented before now. What was it like then to have KOWA party registered and possibly recognized by Nigerians?
Well, KOWA party, thank you very much. KOWA was registered with INEC in 2009. So we already are over 10 years old. And what I saw was what drew me to KOWA party. It was a party of progressive-minded people. And like you have just mentioned, to have given a woman the opportunity, to run on their platform. Indeed, it was no issue. I did not have to make any point about my being a woman. So I was very excited to join that party and to have had the opportunity to run as their flag bearer in the 2015 elections. Unfortunately, the political terrain in Nigeria is very interesting because people might be aware that a party is not performing, it's not, delivering on their promises and things like that, but they still go ahead and vote for them. For some strange reason, people want to be on the winning side in an election. They want to be able to say, the candidate I voted for won. And I think that is a mentality that we have to get rid of because we cannot continue to vote in non-performing government and expect our circumstances to improve.
It brings forward.
So let me just stop here for now.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I'm really interested in discussing this issue of the deregistration of political parties.
Which brings me to my next question about, so between, for example, 2009 and 2020, it's difficult to actually talk about the quality of the candidate for your party, KOWA, as with every other parties that we've seen grow up. they've been maybe quite representative. Their visions have been clear. They've been significant in their orientation. However, the party structures have been questionable, including that of KOWA party, in terms of the politics within the party and the structural arrangements within the party. What do you think about that? I mean, to say you have good candidates, but not a good party, or to say a formidable party that is ready for politics in this terrain?
I know that we have a good party and a good structure. However, the environment in which we are functioning is one that privileges big spenders. And for you to be a big spender, you've got to have plenty of money. Unfortunately, that's the system that we're running. And I am surprised that INEC has not taken that up in terms of calling us all to rethink this whole electoral system that we are running. The requirement, for instance, that every party would be national. You must have offices not only in Abuja, that's understandable, but in at least 23 states of the country, in every ward and so on. What is wrong with a party that says, I'm just interested in my state? You know, what if some people come together in a particular state and they say, we just would like to transform this state that we are living in, or even at the local government level? You know, so there's this imposition of being national on everybody. And what it does, it makes us all mediocre. How would I say? It condemns all of us to this mess that we are in. You know, who is able to fund the kind of party that INEC requires, if not only the people who have access to like limitless funds? Honest working people cannot participate effectively in the politics of Nigeria because of the requirements that INEC has. You know, so and they should be aware of that and be thinking about it and bring us all together to rethink and to recreate this system. It's not working. They know it. Elections that are marred by violence, elections where only 35% of the voters come out to vote, it is not working. Okay. So what are they trying to do about it? Only to say, okay, we look in our books and we see that you have not performed well and so on. And by the way, KOWA party won in a seat in the Bayelsa House of Assembly in 2011. And even currently, we have a member, a councillor in Imo State. And they still went ahead and deregistered us like, you know, like we have not performed or anything. Okay. You know, so I would actually like to also talk about INEC itself.
Okay, so what we'll do, I need to go on the commercial break, and then after the break, I'll reconnect with you so that we could have an extended conversation as well as with Mr. Tope Fasua. Just give me about 3 minutes just to play off commercials, and then we'll reconnect, madam.
All right, that's fine.
Thank you. Okay, so stay with us right here on Nigeria Info 95.1. We'll reconnect with our guest and also speak to Mr. Tope Fasua a little bit more on the many subjects rising from the deregistration of political parties as we have it in Nigeria. We'll be back after now.
measure your satisfaction with your mobile network operator? Do you know how most customers rate theirs? I'll tell you. Customers measure network providers first by their quality of service, and your original Naija network, 9Mobile, is making quality of service a major focus area in its operations. With the 4G LTE network that delivers superior internet experience for everyone, 9Mobile services such as more place for data, more flex for heavily discounted calls and browsing, and a range of innovative enterprise solutions for business customers are second to none. That's not all. Official industry reports and analysis affirmed 9Mobile's remarkable performance in quality of service for most of 2019. And 9Mobile continues to invest in network infrastructure to sustain top quality service. So, if you're looking for quality of service, 9Mobile is your sure bet.
9Mobile, here for you, here for Naija.
Breakfast your day every day with the nourishment of malt, milk, and cocoa, and the delicious taste of Milo.
Nestle, good food, good life.
Book, check in, and fly without stress. Now that's peace.
Home-cooked meals at 40,000 feet? Now that's peace.
Eating small chops in international airspace. Now that's peace.
The music, movies, TV shows, and in-flight entertainment I actually want. Now that's peace.
Being treated with the highest respect and courtesy no matter what class you're flying.
Now that's peace.
Flygerians choose peace above all. Fly international destinations with Air Peace and enjoy the Flygerian experience firsthand. For more information on our international flights, visit www.flyairpeace.com. Air Peace. Your peace, our goal.
They say things are tough. They say succeeding here is difficult. What they say may be true, but together we will be challenged by it. Because we all know the truth is based on what you see. And what we see is the hunger for success. The defiant promise to never go back, no matter what. And when we stumble, we will only fall forward. By the prayers of our loved ones, the hopes of 200 million people, and the big yellow heart pumping energy into us to break boundaries. So let them continue to tell you their truth while we take time to write ours. There is more within. Turn it up.
Hypo toilet cleaner, sachet na 30 naira. You dey kill jam for toilet. Affordable and easy to use. Hypo toilet cleaner, you dey kill jam. You dey remove stain for toilet. Affordable and easy to use. We have hypo toilet cleaner with hypo toilet cleaner.
Hypo toilet cleaner, available in sachet for just 30 naira.
This is Nigeria Info. And now, Morning Crossfire. With SWAT and Femi D live on 95.1 Nigeria Info.
Many thanks for staying with us right here on Nigeria Info 95.1, 8:38 a.m. Nigerian time. It is at this time. Okay, Mr. Tope Fasua, presidential candidate of the ANRP, is here with us. Also, Professor Remi Sonaiya of the KOWA party, 2015 presidential candidate, will reconnect with us via the phone lines in a short while. Mr. Fasua, let me come to you now. You were just about given an evaluation of what you think of INEC. One of the things you said was the fact that INEC seems to be inclined towards big party spenders, towards the big parties, if I may say, in terms of their disposition. Do you think that is consistent with this deregistration of political parties, as you all know, you as well are the chairman of a political party, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, thank you very much. It is not INEC that's acting, it is the big parties that's pushing them, especially the APC. This constitutional amendment was written up by the APC-led Senate, and they had a reason for that. The idea is to close down the political space. I just wish Nigeria luck. As Professor Sonaiya said just now, if Nigerians then say that they want to go with the violent parties, the parties that perpetrate the violence and the bribery and corruption around the elections, the parties that demand 40-something million for nomination fees and so on, then okay, well, so be it. We'll see where it takes Nigeria to. Because now, if Nigerians don't care about injustice being done to people who have honestly come up to say, okay, look, let's try and begin to start afresh and gather ourselves together. Some of them were given licenses 6 months, and then under 6 months you are removing the license. And even if you were removing the license, you're not removing the license for the right reason. I wish Mr. Osaze would still be listening. I doubt. Sorry, Dr. Osaze. I doubt. I'm not sure if they would even care, really, but it is not INEC, really. So the point is that if you look at the letter of the law, if you look at the constitutional provision and the amendment that they're talking about, they have actually acted against that constitution. It says that, it considers, the elections down to the ward level. And it says that if you win something at the ward level, then you're supposed to be okay, or if you get a certain percentage. Has INEC allowed the ward elections to happen? No, they haven't. They say that they don't conduct election. The Constitution is not interested in who conducts the election at the ward level or at the local government level. All of those things are not the concern of the Constitution. The Constitution is concerned about Nigeria. The Constitution is concerned about the rights of people who manage to scale the provisions of setting up a political party. And of course, we came at a point of sacrifice. We came when, INEC wasn't funding any parties. We put our money into it. The little money we have across the board to register party, they collected some fees from us, We set up branches all over the country. We contested for election, we put our money in it. And then this kind of impunity comes up. So I believe that the INEC should actually understand. INEC refused to advise the Senate properly, because the Senate, in writing this amendment, boxed itself into a corner. It is clear that you should wait until the ward elections have been conducted. Now, okay, we heard about 100 other parties that INEC is going to register. There's a certain party there called Boot Party, which has now just been registered. What is it? Is it a catch and release kind of thing? So they will contest, you will deregister, you will contest, you will register.
Let me understand you. You're saying some new parties are coming on board.
Yes, they know. I mean, I was on AIT last night, and the other spokesman, Mr. Ekomi, was saying this thing. I mean, of course, every is in this space. So they're going to register these 100 new parties or thereabout. And then, after 6 months, who does that? Who does that? INEC should be the one advised, but they're not interested, unfortunately. And it's for a reason, because who appoints the INEC chairman? There's a constitutional issue here we should be discussing. But unfortunately, Nigerians also are not interested in finding sustainable and lasting solutions to anything. That's why our country is the way it is today. The same political parties that have foisted insecurity, bad economics, illiteracy, and all of that on the country are the ones that were solidifying and we're supporting, and we don't look. If people believe that is their destiny, fine. All right. So and if people believe that maybe because they are seeing 2 naira or 5 naira from these people, and that's supposed to define the future of Nigeria, then okay. But nobody should complain when it hits back. The point now is that we have been unjustly treated. We have been robbed. All right, and INEC will have to step up. Again, one of the bad things that usually happen is even within the INEC, we have some of their spokesmen, some of their commissioners, a certain commissioner who goes around, even before now, saying things like, we are going to have only 5 political parties. Who is he? Under a democracy, to dictate how many political parties? He goes around saying that they are going to deregister commercial political party. Again, lumping people up. If you know commercial political party, name them and shame them. It's not going to be everybody. But they are used to all this kind of impunity because they are just sitting down there eating money and, just generally pandering to the powers that be. So you go around saying things like it is easier to register a political party than it is to register a limited liability company. It takes some people years. For my party, it took us 1 year of a lot of trauma from these same INEC people who are not used to young people coming to open parties. You have to go and queue there. Now, there's nothing wrong with learning from the old people. But what are you learning? If you're learning how to do what they did in Kogi, I don't want to learn that. All right? If you're learning how to bribe people and how to go and steal money, if you're learning how to pack billions, look, if we had to go by the same electoral law, none of these sitting people, none of these people who are so-called, quote-unquote, one offices will be sitting there today. The governors are not supposed to spend more than 200 million for the election. Most of them spend several billions. All right? Yeah, and if you don't have that billion... So, anyhow, see, we are going to fight for our rights. It is very clear under the law that INEC has erred. They know they have erred. All right? They are just being afraid, and the acts of the Senate and the powerful political people is dangling on their necks. People don't want to lose their positions or their seats or whatever it is that they are. So, but that does not make...
So does that mean you're going to litigate?
Femidi, 1 second. Whether Nigerians like our faces or not, we have been robbed and we're going to fight for our right.
Does that mean legally?
We don't want Nigerian support. We don't support us. Most Nigerians don't support us. They can't see reason. They can't see why. Because they're not affected. Parties are... Look, we're not supposed to be talking about the structure of a party. You're talking about structure of a party. Anybody can steal money and put structures everywhere. You're not even talking about the integrity of the party. Nigerians are not interested in integrity. So we get what we want. And Nigeria is what we have created because this is the kind of human beings we are.
All right, well, that's an interesting thought that you do put forward. And I'm presuming when you do say fight for your right, it also means you're going through the legal process at this time. Professor Sonaiya joins us back via the phone lines any moment from now to continue our conversation. Yes, welcome back to the show, ma'am.
Yes, very much.
Yes, so before the break, you had mentioned you wanted to talk about INEC. Tope Fasua, just shortly after now, described the position in which a lot of political parties will be taking up, which is possibly to go to law courts to fight for their right, with or without the support of Nigerians. Let me ask your review of the Independent National Electoral Commission and their performance thus far. What's your take on them?
All right, thank you very much. I believe that this action that has been taken by INEC in deregistering 74 political parties, thereabouts, is actually, how would I say, lacking in humility. I know that's a strange notion for us. We don't imagine that those who are in positions of leadership should demonstrate that quality, humility. But really, it is a privilege to be able to be invested with the authority to direct the affairs of so many people. Now, INEC itself has not performed optimally. I mean, how many times have they told us that they were ready for elections and it had to be cancelled at the last minute? What were the troubles that people had in registering and collecting their voters' cards? I mean, they should be mindful that they themselves are underperforming. And it's because of the system that we're running. So I find it unacceptable that they would now come out with such arrogance and demonstrate the power that they have in such a blatant manner. They know that there is a case in court against Deregistration. And the hearing has been fixed for the 17th of February. And why take this decision now? The election cycle has not yet been completed, like other parties have been pointing out. They are getting ready for governorship elections in some states, for local government elections. So the parties have not had the opportunity to fully participate in the entire process. So they themselves are not optimal. The violence that has marred our elections, you have not been able to give us credible elections. And what should have been done was to allow all of us to think about this together. You are having problems. The political parties are having problems. In any case, why did you go on to register, 90-something parties in the first place, only to turn around and deregister them? It means that your system, there's something fundamentally wrong with your system. Many of your elections are declared inconclusive, or the results that once you pronounce something, it can be overturned in the court, so that they should have been more mindful of their own underperformance and saying it that, this is an issue for all of us to seek to address together. Of course, the political parties are aware that, having 90-something parties is unwieldy, is unnecessarily expensive. But, for instance, all the money that INEC gets, who do they give an account to? There's public accounting given, for all the billions that are voted for you. And we don't have the most credible election. So I find this, arrogance with which they speak and conduct their affairs. I find it intolerable. Because you are in a position of trust. You're not supposed to be,
what brings...
so arrogant.
Yeah, but what brings forward the question? I mean, INEC is saying structurally that in a lot of places there's a challenge. But do you think the future of the electoral political landscape, one of the immediate future could be that you could have a party that is structured to function in states or in regions? What's your take about that?
Yes, I mean, I mentioned that in my first comment. I said, what is wrong with a state party? What if I'm just interested, even in my local government area, and there are some of us who come together and say, look, we want to work on this, our local government, and make it an example of how a local government could function in Nigeria, and it will stand out. What is wrong with that? Why can that not be acceptable? Not to talk of a whole state, or even a region. We have this mindset of, we must all be, there must be unity. And that unity means what exists in Lagos must exist in Maiduguri, and so on. We constrain ourselves by this notion of, centralized government, everything must be the same everywhere. Why? Why are we putting ourselves under so much strain and wasting a lot of resources on things that are not benefiting us? That is the issue.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Professor Remi Sonaiya, for joining in this morning. It's such a pleasure to listen to you, still firebranded with the politics and passion for the people, as you've always been.
Thank you very much. It's been my pleasure to be with you.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be in touch. Thank you so much, madam.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And have a lovely day.
And you too, ma.
Okay.
All right.
All right, bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Tope Fasua, there's so much to round off on, and the next question would be, what happens next? Especially from the parts of the parties that have now been deregistered, and what are your immediate thinking on this?
Well, nobody has said INEC should not do its job, once again, but whatever you do it properly, and also know that you are being paid by the Nigerian taxpayers. So there are indeed maybe some parties who can't hold their own. There are some parties who have not put as much effort into the process. There are some parties with integrity issues and so on. So those ones may not be able to fight back. The few that can fight back should. According to the INEC spokesman who I spoke with on AIT yesterday, invariably the conditions and the requirement for setting up a political party right now has not changed. What it means is that for a party like ours, we should remain registered, or they should re-register us immediately because the conditions have not changed. The money we paid has not changed. The inspection that they do has not changed. The requirement of having more than 25 ESCO members from 25 states in Nigeria has not changed. The office in Abuja thing has not changed. Nothing has changed. So why do register? The same basis on which they are going to register 100 parties. So you see, like Professor Sonaiya said, we need to be all sitting down with respect. But if you don't respect me, if you deregister us on the pages of newspapers first, then right now they are chasing parties around with letters. Come and sign letters. Are they kidding? That's not the way to do it. Again, let us respect ourselves in this country. So we should be sitting down. There's a need for a proper constitutional review around our elections, because again we're toying with a constitutional crisis. There are going to be so many lawsuits everywhere that at any point in time a judge may give a decision, all right, to cancel any election, to stop any election, to stall any election, to cancel results.
There's a lawsuit in Enugu already.
And look, there are going to be so many, and we're going to be, look, right now is when we should be saying, okay, fine, who appoints INEC executives? Why? How do we get a little bit more independence in that? Why are they drawing their salaries from the government? Can we create a fund for that? This is the time. And if INEC actually was, well, I don't expect that to happen, but ordinarily speaking, they should be thinking of strengthening themselves from within. If you go to that INEC is split between APC and PDP. Human beings who are working...
That's an allegation you can substitute.
I will, if necessary. They are split between, and they can't get their minds out of APC and PDP. APC and PDP were not written into the constitution of this country, especially APC that has a sort of more Machiavellian perspective of things, ready to destroy anything that's on his way. And look, we are here to stay, and we are here, our voices cannot be quieted. We should be able to get involved. Which parties are run by youths? In some of the ones that have been put there. And if you look at the criteria for putting them, okay, like Professor Sonaiya was saying about if a party wants to go regional, let them go regional, or let them do a state, whatever. It is possible. But did they give anybody that opportunity? No. So now, but if you say, if for example, that also has a certain perverse incentive. If somebody sets up a political party and puts all the resources of the party in his village in order to win his village ward or something like that,
yes,
automatically you give that person a national license. No, you shouldn't. You should give him a state license because that's what he wants. Why are we not discussing that? There's nothing wrong with having 90 parties, right? There's nothing wrong. If some of them are playing on a regional level or a state level or whatever, it's whatever they want is what you should give them. All right, and then give them clear, attainable, and reasonable, criteria of maintaining their licenses. In this instance, INEC has jumped the gun because the Constitution does not say anything about a certain cycle. And the idea of a cycle of election in INEC needs to be challenged because before the elections in Edo and Ondo, for example, were staggered, they were all started at the same point in time in 1999. And the same 1999 constitution is what we're relying on. So over time, because of partly the incompetencies and the compromises of INEC and these same big political parties, some of those elections were staggered. It doesn't take them out of the cycle of election. As far as the constitution is concerned, that look, they're still part of Nigeria. And even no matter the amendment that took place, even the creation of CX and all of that, State Electoral Commission, does not make local government and it doesn't excise them from Nigeria. They have to be very clear on that.
Okay.
And so we're going to take it up even down to the Supreme Court where necessary and get the correct interpretation of that amendment. And that's what we're going to be doing. So they should be prepared for that. And we should be prepared. If we're not careful, there's going to come a time we will not be able to conduct any elections in this country. And perhaps maybe we want to get to that point. Another point is to say that, look, let people have a good sit down. Let us bring out all of these issues. Let us talk as gentlemen and ladies who are educated and all of that. And then we work something out.
All right. I know you do have to run. You've told me that several times already this morning. But thank you for stopping by, Mr. Tope Fasua, on the show. I'll be in touch as things do go on.
Absolutely.
It's time to bring in to bring you into the conversation. Let's hear from you this very morning on 0946000951, 08095974869, and not missing out on 08031230293. Good morning to you and welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
it is quite sympathetic for millions of Nigerians, to be honest with you. What INEC did is the best thing to do. If you can have political parties who cannot even win a councillorship in any locality in 774 local governments in this country, what is that party qualified to continue to exist? These parties are wasting the resources of this country. These parties are confusing Nigerians. Let us get serious in this country. That is why the bigger parties continue to.
A great talk show unravels your thinking, makes you stop to listen, engages you in a debate of opinions.
I believe this man knows what he is doing. He is a Nigerian.
And ultimately brings you to the king of talk radio, Femi D Live.